it struck me, letters. That's what I could do. I would use what Holly, my dear sister, did for me. So about 9 years ago, my husband started working for Hill Air Force Base, and he's a civilian and an electrical engineer there, and because he works there, he had opportunities to move overseas, and so he was really excited about that, and so he would just come home periodically and say, well, here's an opportunity for us to move to Japan. We can go to Okinawa. Let's do it. Do you want to do that? And I said, no. We'd rather not do that because our family is here, I've grown up here, and we just refinished our house, and I thought, oh, I really don't want to leave. So I said no. So he'd come home every few months with a new job opportunity somewhere around the world and say, what about this place? And I would veto that too. But then one day, about 6 years ago, he came home and said, there's a really great job opportunity for me in Germany, and I could really grow a lot from it. And he said, think of what an amazing experience this could be for our family. We could tour Europe, we could go all over and see different countries, and since we homeschool, think of the educational opportunities for the kids. That could be so neat. So I thought, all right, I'll think about it. I didn't say no immediately, and we prayed about it, and we talked to our children about it, and it just felt right. I thought this really could be a neat opportunity. So we decided to do it. So he applied for the job, and he got it, and then 4 months later, we were ready, had our house ready to rent, and we're on our way to moving to Germany. So the day that we were ready to leave, we were just leaving the hotel room, and my sister and family were there, and my sister had come with her kids, and they came, and she had made a handmade blanket for each of our children, actually each one of us, and she had tied it, and she said, I just want you to have these so that when you get sad that you can just put it around you and feel loved by us. And then she also gave me a box, and this is the box that it was, and it looks a little tattered now because it's been through 5 years, but at the time it was just so pretty, and she said, open this when you get to Germany. So we got on the plane and said our goodbyes, and when I got to Germany, I opened the box, and inside are 30 beautiful letters, and they're handwritten letters by her with thoughts of encouragement and just notes of love from her with uplifting messages in each one, because she said, I was so worried about you, of how you would do, and I knew you'd be alone and that you would need love. So thoughtful of her. So the first one that I opened, day number 1, it was titled Be Strong and of Good Courage. And it couldn't have been a more perfect thought that I needed, because here we were 5,000 miles away from family and friends, and we were in this little German village. No one spoke English hardly, and the culture was different, the food was different, everything was new. So I put this on my fridge where I could see it every day and just know that I needed to be strong and of good courage, and that God was with me, and that He wouldn't leave me alone. Even though I was away, I knew that He was there with me, and that He would give me and our family the strength to do this. So as we were there, we were involved with a military, the church that we went to had about 95% military members, and they were just amazing. As soon as they found out we were there, they started calling us and inviting us to dinners and helping us to get acclimated to what we needed to do, teaching us what was good to do in the villages and what not to do so that we could fit in better and not stick out like sore thumbs. And I was just so amazed by the love that they showed us. They just immediately treated us like family. Since we didn't have family, they were it, and it just felt so comforting. So I learned so much from them, and just watching them, I was amazed, because so many of the women had husbands that were deployed at one time or another while we were there. They were gone from 4 months to 13 months, and I they were raising their children by themselves and doing everything on their own. And I thought, how can I make a difference? How can I help them? Because how can I serve when their husbands are away serving us in our country? There's got to be something, and doing a dinner once in a while didn't seem like enough. And saying, call me if you need anything. You know that most people don't do that. They'll just suffer along, and because it's hard to call when you need help. So then it struck me, letters. That's what I could do. I would use what Holly, my dear sister, did for me, and use that. I've always loved writing letters. It's something that I'm passionate about, and something just a gift that God has given me that I love to do. So I thought, that can't be more perfect then. So I'm going to use these letters, and I'm going to just write something inspirational to each of these women to just try and give them a little bit of support during this hard time for them. So I got a list and the names and addresses of all the women, and it would range from maybe 5 or so at a time up to 13, and sometimes there were just a lot of them. And I'd just take a night each week and sit down and write a personal note, and then send hopefully something uplifting to them, or something silly, or something just to make them smile that might lift them up at that time. And it was amazing. It was to see, here I thought I was doing the service, but in reality I was being served. I learned so much from doing that. They were so grateful for those letters, and it was something small on my part that I could do, but yet it meant so much to them to know that somebody cared and somebody had noticed that if they were down or if they were struggling, or just that somebody loved them. And in turn it helped me get out of my shell, kind of, and reach out to someone else and not think of we're in a foreign country and be overwhelmed. It gave me something else to focus on and serve other people. So I love that about services, that it just helps us not focus on ourselves and help others. There was one special lady, and her name was Christine, that stands out in my mind when I think about Germany. And she attended our church, and when I first saw her, she would come and she was just sitting alone, and she didn't seem to know a lot of people. And as I asked more about her, my friends said that she had just lost her husband to cancer a few weeks before, and that she was really struggling. So I thought, here is a great opportunity, again, to use what my sister had taught me to serve this woman. And so I just got her address. She was actually, she lived in Germany for the last 20 or so years with her husband, and so I was able just to start writing letters to her, and she called me just out of the blue a couple weeks after I started, and she just expressed how much that she appreciated the thoughtfulness to know that somebody on this earth loved her, is how she put it. And I thought, such a simple thing, so easy, but yet it touched her so deeply. And from there we just developed such a beautiful relationship, and we are dear friends even today. She calls us now that we're home once a month, and we chat and talk. And so this opportunity to serve has made deep relationships with women that maybe I wouldn't have gotten to know otherwise. So I feel like we've been just so blessed by that. So I think the most important lesson that I've learned from this is that one person can make a difference. That we need to find those gifts and talents that God has blessed us with and use that to benefit other people in a positive way. And whether it doesn't need to be something huge. Sometimes I think we think service has to be something big, but it doesn't. It's just something small, and people just really appreciate that. And I think of another example, when my mom was dying of cancer 14 years ago. She was a member of the Presbyterian Church, and the Reverend there had just come in as a new Reverend, and he loved to take pictures. And so all of a sudden we just started receiving a postcard once a week from him, and it was a picture of what he had taken that week, where he had been and traveled to, or what he had seen, and then he'd just write a little note on the back of a scripture or something that touched him, and that he said, just wanted to let you know I'm thinking about you. And he did that for 6 months, and we have kept all that he did. These are there's over 100 postcards that he sent, and I don't think he knew, but how that touched not just my mom, because he meant it for her, but it touched each one of us as family members to know that it lifted us too, to know that he cared, and that such a simple thing would have such an impact. And we carry these today with us and remember him fondly because of that service that he gave. So there's just so many ways, and I think just living overseas, we learned that we can do hard things, that you grow from doing hard things, and it brought us closer as a family. It taught us so much in so many ways, and serving is where you feel the most happiness and the most joy in your life. And if we can just get out of ourselves and do that, that's what it's all about. I just want you to know that one person can make a difference. Find that gift or talent that you enjoy doing and touch a life with that gift or talent. And don't be afraid to try hard things, because that's how we grow.